Hi, Instagram. Hi, Facebook. I'm just going to wait for you guys to tune in. How is everyone doing today? Good morning. Good morning. Oh my gosh, there's something in my throat. So I know last week when I went on live, there were a lot of questions that I didn't get a chance to answer. I don't have a lot of time today. I have about 17 minutes. So just jump right in and start asking your questions so I can try to answer as many as I can in the next 17 minutes. And just for those of you tuning in for the first time, my name is Aisha Chidole. I'm an immigration lawyer. I represent clients all over the United States and internationally with their family immigration matter. Your location is not an issue. We've got an office in Atlanta and one in Orlando, but regardless of where you live, we can definitely assist you. Okay. If you want to schedule a consult, it's 407-995-6567. You can also send a WhatsApp to 404-333-8751. All right, let me put the banner. And if you're tuning in after this live is over, if you're on Facebook or YouTube, you can see it scrolling through the ticker. You can see the number there. And if you're on Instagram, it's right there in the profile. Okay. Someone says, I'm waiting on my 10-year green card. Can I go ahead and file for my citizenship? Well, I guess the question is, it depends, I mean, are you eligible for it? What are you waiting on? Did you initially file for, did you initially file for removal of conditions? How many years have you had it? So all those things need to be taken into account to know whether you're eligible to file. Good morning, Charlene. Good morning, Akinola. And Elias says, good morning. Thanks for your great job. Thank you so much. Do I have to be in a marriage to a person to apply for VAWA? Well, if you're applying for VAWA because you had an abusive spouse, you have to show that you were at least married to the person at some point. Now, if you choose to divorce the person or you guys are now divorced, you're still eligible to file for VAWA. We just need to make sure that you meet, we just need to make sure basically that you, I just lost my train of thoughts. What was the question you asked me again? Another question threw me off. Yeah, you just need to make sure that if you are divorced, before you submit your VAWA application, that you file for VAWA while your divorce is still under 2 years. After 2 years, you're no longer eligible to file for VAWA. Okay, let's see what else. Jennifer says, how long does it take to get a 360 approved? Well, most 360s take anywhere from 24 months to 30 months. I mean, sometimes you're going to have some that end up being approved earlier or somewhere there's much more background check being done or RFEs or noise or things that cause it to be delayed, and it could take longer than the timeline, but most people are going to fall within the 24-30 month window. And guys, remember, if you're eligible for a work permit and you file for an adjustment of status at the same time as when you're filing your VAWA application, you're able to get a 2-year work permit. So at least you're able to work. And same thing, if you're eligible to travel, you're able to get a 2-year travel permit during the time while your case is pending. Okay. How long after you file for your VAWA do you get a prima facie determination letter? It's different for everyone. I mean, most people will hear something within 3 to 6 months if they meet the requirement. Sometimes USCIS, believe it or not, forgets to send the prima facie. Like, they will have it issued, but just don't send it, because we've seen that happen for some of our clients where we did an outreach like 7 months later, and they had it since like 3 months ago, but they just never remember to send it. So, it all depends. The Clea says, I can't wait for my consultation with you. Yes, I can't wait as well. Let's see what else we have here. Sweet to Diva says, do you handle PIPs, parole in place cases? Yes, we do. Call the office. Sexism that says, I like your nails. It's pretty. Thank you. Yeah, my kids. I don't know if you guys have been following me for a long time, but my kids are very opinionated about my nails and they think that I use pink nails too much. But I'm like, I love pink. Clearly, my brand is pink. You know, my wedding colors are pink and yellow. I just love colors that make me happy. So thank you. Let's see what are the questions here. And good morning, everyone. I can see all your good morning messages. I'm just trying to go super fast so that I can get to as many questions as I can. Call Me says, I haven't gotten a VAR receipt after 2 months. I suspect that if you've not gotten a VAR receipt after 2 months, it's because you didn't file it with an adjustment of status application. Generally, these days, if you don't file an adjustment of status with your VAR application or you have an abeyance case, we're seeing several months delay in getting a receipt. And, you know, we joke here saying that, you know, when it's something that concerns money, USCIS is very quick, you know, to cash that and send you a receipt. But if there's no money, they take their merry time. So, you know, it's what it is. So Alglage says, if you submitted your VAR case to Vermont and they sent it to Nebraska after your biometrics, they sent it from Nebraska back to Vermont. They said they want to speed up the case. What do you think about this? There's nothing really to think about this. You know, so as of the 10th of this month, because I guess Vermont is having a backlog, so now a lot of the VAR applications are supposed to be sent to Nebraska, you know, but I guess also Nebraska is essentially just processing like the receipts and all that stuff, and decisions are still being made in Vermont. So it's just their way of trying to speed up things. It's a bit confusing, I know, for a lot of people because it was kind of just like a very subtle announcement that, you know, everybody should start mailing everything to Nebraska, but, you know, it's not something that I would worry about. Charlene Grant says, how long are you allowed to travel out of the country on your travel permit? There is no requirement per se. Personally, I don't recommend traveling for more than 30 days if you're going out of the country, and it depends on when you're traveling on a travel permit. Have you had if you've had an interview and they've not made a decision, I personally don't recommend going out of the country. I recommend waiting for a decision, just because, one, if they've not made a decision in under 6 months, it means that you're either in line for fraud investigation or you're doing some background research, and you don't want, God forbid, you're out of the country and then you find out that your case was denied and you can't come back in. If it's before all of that happens and you travel, just travel for a week, 2 weeks, you know, and just come back, you know. Okay. Okay, Charlene says, I have a pending VAR case. Yeah, so my answer still remains the same. Just don't go for more than 30 days. I'm from Bahamas and I want to apply for my green card, but I don't want to go through marriage. Can I just apply for it? So you're not eligible for a green card just because you're from the Bahamas. Typically, something has to qualify you for a green card. So if you don't qualify for a green card through marriage, you have to have another reason or something that makes you qualify. So, you know, could that be your parents? Are you under 21 and your parents are U.S. citizens? Do you have children over 21 who are U.S. citizens that make you eligible for an adjustment of status? Do you have siblings filing for you while you wait in the Bahamas for, you know, anywhere from 16 to 18 years? Do you have the financial resources to invest in the U.S.? You know, if you do an investment visa, if you do an E2 visa, if you're an E2 country, these are all things that could lead you to a green card, but you can't just apply for a green card. Something has to qualify you. Okay. So Akinola says, attorney, please, I just got my C31 work authorization since last year, October. So what next am I going to expect from ESS? Well, congratulations. The C31 means that your VAWA case was approved. So typically the next thing that happens if you filed an adjustment of status is that you will get a interview request or an interview bypass. I would say on average, this usually takes about 6 months from when they make the valid decision. That's what we're seeing. At least last year, a lot of it was around that 6-month mark. So October, so that's November, December, January, February. So you've only been about 4 months. So give it a few more months just to see if they call you for an interview or send you an RFE asking you to send your medicals. And then hopefully, everything goes well and then you get your 10-year green card. Can submitting my spouse info to USCIS to verify his citizenship status because I don't have a copy of his passport slow down my VAWA process? Not really. Dimma Divine says, I did my C9 biometrics for VAWA case. How long to get my work permit? It's been a week now. Just calculate from when you submitted your work permit application. Work permits take anywhere from 4 to 9 months, 4 to 10 months even. On average, right now, there are a lot of people seeing around 4 to 6 months. But again, until you pass the inquiry of the expected time, you technically cannot reach out to USCIS saying that they've delayed that for you. My marriage is not working, but I got a 2-year green card. We're separated. What's next? Well, definitely call me for a consultation so we can talk about filing for removal of conditions with the waiver, because you might be eligible for a waiver based on if you're planning to get a divorce or based on extreme cruelty, or hardship or whatnot. Number is 407-995-6567. Goldie says, how much is a consultation? The consultation is $150. All this is also on my website. It's also in the links on YouTube, on Facebook and Instagram. Okay. So no, I don't offer discounts to students. Unfortunately, everybody is charged the same thing. Again, and Gimme says, how can I book an appointment with you? It's right there on my profile, or save this number right now, 407-995-6567. Call and make an appointment, or go on the link and book an appointment directly through the link if you want to. After receiving my prima facie twice, does that mean the vow will be approved? This is Eki Godwin on Instagram. No, it doesn't mean the vow will be approved. And I talk about this all the time. While a prima facie is a good thing, saying that you've met the preliminary requirements, it doesn't guarantee that your vow case will be approved. It's just, we're giving you this to hold you off while we do more of a fine-tooth comb review of your application. Automatically, your first prima facie, you get it for a year, and after that, you get it for in 6 months increments. So basically, the average valid applicant will get more than 2 or 1 prima facie, if you understand what I'm saying. Start of the Future asks, what's your cost for VAWA? You would have to schedule a consultation to discuss that. 87676 says, repeat the consult number, 407-995-6567. Let me write it in here. 407. It's so hard for me to write and talk at the same time. So 56567. That's the number. Let me just pin it. Okay, so it's pinned there. 18 years, undocumented, 3 kids, and married to a citizen. No criminal record. Can anything be done about that? Yeah, you have options. You definitely have options. Give us a call. We have to discuss and just sort of go through all the different options to see if there's any that you might be eligible for. Okay. Kaizana says, you have a man, marry me. Well, I am married. I've been happily married for maybe 13 or 14 years. And my husband's probably watching this live and is not going to appreciate that comment. How long does the process take if a U.S. citizen is filing for their stepson, wife's son, is in South Africa and he's 12 years old? Consular processing is different for everyone. It just depends on the country and how busy the country is in terms of immigrants migrating to the United States. For consular processing, though, I just generally tell everybody, expect 24 months. If yours ends up being shorter, great, but that is the average time that you see, just because the I-130 alone can take anywhere from 9 to 12 months. The NVC doing the documentary qualification, and then consular processing can take another 12 months before you're even scheduled for an interview. So again, some country consulates might be quicker. One country, for instance, that's very quick is Cameroon. They're very quick with their consulate, or what's the other country that we had that client from? Myanmar. So there's certain countries that, depending on where, how many people are applying, it's quick. But then if you're in a country like, say, Jamaica, Ghana, Nigeria, the consulate is very busy, and a lot of times it takes a little bit longer. All right, I can take 2 more questions. Dawn says, good morning to you. I have applied for adjustment of status since July 2023. I'm going to assume you mean July 2022. Until today, I haven't gotten my EAD. They sent me an RFE and I've responded. Well, your RFE is probably the reason why your work permit was delayed. And I'm not sure, but can you confirm that it's related to your financial affidavit of support, your I-864? If you get an RFE for your I-864, it always delays your work permit. M. Cashman says, good morning, my beautiful lawyer, the best in town. What are the basic questions asked at a VAWA interview? At a VAWA interview, the questions they ask you are basically everything on your I-485. So everything that you've completed on your I-485, they're going to be asking you those questions, and they want to know if anything has changed. Have you since divorced? Have you gonna remarried? You definitely, as a VAWA applicant filing for VAWA, you definitely don't want to remarry until they make a decision on your VAWA case, because you will not lose your eligibility for a green card. They would always ask for your address history. So it's really important that you know your address history. Don't go there saying you forgot. If you're divorced, they want to know dates of divorce. Sometimes they're going to ask you questions about when did you get married to your spouse, your abusive spouse, when is your spouse's birthday, and things like that. At an adjustment of status interview for VAWA, they're not supposed to be asking you about the abuse, because that has already been adjudicated and they've already approved you. You have to understand that before you can go to an adjustment of status interview for VAWA, you must be approved for VAWA. You cannot bypass that. You must be approved before you can be scheduled for an interview, which is why they can't start asking you questions on that, because they've already determined that you have a good faith marriage. And that your spouse was cruel and you meet the requirements. Okay. Okay. One more question and I got to jump off. Let's see. Hi, for marriage base, how long does it take to get a work permit? Same time as a VAWA, anywhere from 4 to 9 months, 4 to 10 months. If you're lucky, you might get it earlier. But most people will fall in that window of like the 4 to 6 months window. It was great chatting with you guys. I got to jump off, but I will talk to you guys soon. I hope you have a wonderful week, and bye.